Story. I gave them everything. Every single dollar I ever earned. Every single hour I had free. Every single piece of myself that I could give without completely disappearing. But I did disappear, didn't I? My name is Emma. I'm 32 years old. And for 32 years, I've been the invisible daughter. Let me start from the beginning. Not from Thanksgiving dinner where everything exploded. But from the real beginning. From the moment I learned what my role in this family actually was. I was 8 years old when my sister Lily was born. I remember standing in the hospital room, holding my mother's hand, staring at this tiny pink bundle in the bassinet. Mom looked at me with tired eyes and said, "Emma, you're a big sister now. That means you have to be strong. You have to help take care of her." I nodded. I didn't understand what that meant yet. But I would learn. Lily was the miracle baby. That's what everyone called her. Mom had 3 miscarriages between me and Lily. The doctors said she might never have another child. But then Lily came. Perfect, healthy, beautiful Lily. And from that moment on, everything changed. I don't blame Lily. She was just a baby. She didn't ask to be the center of everything. But she was. Every birthday party was hers. Every family photo was arranged around her. Every conversation at dinner was about her day, her achievements, her problems. I learned to be quiet. I learned to take up less space. I learned that my job wasn't to shine. It was to make sure Lily could shine brighter. When I was 12, Dad lost his job. The company he'd worked at for 15 years downsized, and he was let go. Money became tight. Very tight. Mom took on extra shifts at the hospital where she worked as a nurse. Dad started driving for a rideshare company at night. I started babysitting. At 12 years old, I was watching neighbors' kids after school on weekends, whenever anyone needed help. I made maybe $20 here, $30 there. I gave it all to Mom. "You're such a good girl, Emma," she'd say, tucking the crumpled bills into her purse. So responsible. So mature. Felt proud. Felt useful. Felt seen. But that feeling never lasted long. When I was 16, I got my first real job at a local diner. Minimum wage, terrible hours, rude customers. But it was money. Real money. I worked every weekend, every holiday, every summer. While my friends were at the beach or the movies, I was refilling coffee cups and scraping plates. I saved everything. Well, almost everything. 70% of every paycheck went into a savings account. The other 30% went to my parents. Just to help out, Mom said. Just until we get back on our feet. But we never got back on our feet. Not really. Because every time we started to recover, something else happened. The car broke down. The roof needed repairs. Lily needed braces. Lily needed a new laptop for school. Lily wanted to join the dance team, which meant costumes and competition fees and travel expenses. And every time I helped. 'Cause that's what I did. That's who I was. Big sister Emma. Responsible Emma. Dependable Emma. Invisible Emma. I graduated high school with honors. I got a full scholarship to a state university. I thought maybe, finally, I could focus on myself. Build my own life. But 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave for college, Mom sat me down at the kitchen table. "Emma, honey, we need to talk." I knew that tone. That careful, gentle tone that meant she was about to ask me for something big. "Your father and I. We're struggling. The mortgage is behind. We might lose the house." My stomach dropped. "How far behind?" 3 months. "We need $12,000 by the end of the month, or the bank starts foreclosure proceedings." $12,000. I had $14,000 in my savings account. Money I'd been putting away for 4 years. Money for college, for textbooks, for emergencies. "I know it's a lot to ask," Mom continued. Her eyes were red. She looked so tired. "But we don't have anyone else to turn to. You're the only one who's been responsible with money. You're the only one who can save us." I wanted to say no. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I didn't. I transferred $12,000 to my parents' account the next day. I still went to college. I still had my scholarship. But I had to work 3 part-time jobs to cover everything my savings would have paid for. I worked at the campus library, at a coffee shop, and as a tutor. Barely slept. Barely ate. But I made it work. 'Cause that's what I did. I made things work. Lily, meanwhile, had a completely different high school experience than I did. She joined every club. She went to every party. She dated. She traveled with friends. She never worked a single day. When she graduated, there was no question about college. Of course she was going. Of course Mom and Dad would figure out how to pay for it. Except they didn't figure it out. I did. Lily got into a good school. Private university. Expensive. Very expensive. She got some financial aid, but there was still a gap. A $20,000 gap per year. I was 22 at the time. I just graduated and started my first real job in marketing. I was making decent money. Not great, but decent. Mom called me 2 weeks before Lily was supposed to start her freshman year. Emma, we have a problem. Course we did. Lily's school needs the tuition payment, and we're short. We've tried everything. Loans, payment plans, everything. But we're still short by $8,000. If we don't pay, she can't start. Closed my eyes. Took a deep breath. How much do you need from me? Just $8,000. Please, Emma. We'll pay you back. I promise. They never paid me back. Over the next 4 years I paid for Lily's textbooks, her meal plan, her sorority fees, her spring break trips. Every time there was a shortfall I covered it. I did the math once. By the time Lily graduated, I'd given my family over $50,000. $50,000. And I never complained. Not once. Because complaining meant I was selfish. Complaining meant I didn't care about family. When I was 26, I met Daniel. He was kind, funny, stable. He worked as a software engineer and made good money. We dated for 2 years and then he proposed. I was so happy. Finally, something that was just mine. A wedding. Marriage. A future that didn't revolve around fixing everyone else's problems. We set a date. Spring. April 15th. A small ceremony, nothing fancy. Just family and close friends. Maybe 60 people total. I sent out invitations 3 months in advance. I wanted to make sure everyone had plenty of time to plan, to travel if needed, to request time off work. I sent my parents invitations via certified mail. I wanted to make sure they received them. I wanted proof. Both invitations were delivered. Both were signed for. Mom's on March 14th. Dad's on March 15th. I waited for a response. Text, a call, an email. Anything. Nothing. 2 months went by. The wedding was 6 weeks away. Still nothing. Finally called Mom. Hey, honey. Her voice was bright, cheerful. How are you? I'm good. Just calling to check in about the wedding. Did you get the invitation? What invitation? My heart sank. My wedding invitation. I sent it months ago. I don't think I got anything. Are you sure you sent it to the right address? Yes, Mom. I'm sure. I sent it certified mail. You signed for it on March 14th. Another pause. Longer this time. Well, I don't remember that. Maybe it got mixed up with other mail. You know how busy things have been. Busy with what? Oh, you know. Lily's engagement party is coming up. It's the same weekend as your wedding, actually. We've been so focused on getting everything ready for that. My blood went cold. What? Lily got engaged. Didn't she tell you? Oh, Emma, you're going to love him. His name is Ryan, he's a doctor, they're so perfect together. Mom. My voice was flat. Her engagement party is the same weekend as my wedding? Yes, well, that's the only weekend that worked for Ryan's family. They're flying in from California. It's going to be beautiful. We rented out this lovely venue. So you're not coming to my wedding? Silence. Emma, honey, don't be like that. You understand, right? Lily's engagement is a big deal. This is a huge moment for her. And your wedding is just, a small thing. You said so yourself. We'll celebrate with you another time. Just a small thing. My wedding was just a small thing. I hung up without saying goodbye. I sat on the floor of my apartment for an hour, staring at nothing. Daniel came home and found me there. Emma. What's wrong? I told him everything. He was furious. Call them back. Tell them they need to choose. Tell them if they don't come, you're done. But I didn't call them back. Because I knew what they'd choose. And I wasn't ready to hear it out loud. April 15th came. My wedding day. It was beautiful. The sun was shining, the flowers were perfect. The ceremony was everything I dreamed of. My parents weren't there. Lily wasn't there. Daniel's parents hugged me and cried and told me how happy they were to have me in their family. His sister gave a toast that made everyone laugh. His brother walked me down the aisle because my father didn't show up. I smiled through the whole thing. I danced, I laughed, I thanked everyone for coming. But inside I was hollow. 3 days later, Lily posted photos from her engagement party on social media. My parents were in every single photo. Smiling, celebrating, toasting. I didn't comment. I didn't like. I didn't reach out. Just existed. For the next 18 months I kept my distance. I responded to texts with 1 or 2 words. I didn't visit. I didn't call. Mom would occasionally message me. "We miss you, honey. When are you coming home?" As if that place had ever felt like home. Then came Thanksgiving. "Emma, you have to come," Mom said on the phone. "It's been too long. The family misses you. Please." Almost said no. But Daniel convinced me. Maybe it's time to try again. Maybe they've realized what they did. So I agreed. We drove 3 hours to my parents' house. The driveway was full of cars. The house smelled like turkey and stuffing. Everyone was already there. We walked in. People greeted us. Hugs, small talk, the usual. But nobody mentioned the wedding. Nobody apologized. Nobody acknowledged that they'd missed the most important day of my life. It was like it never happened. We sat down for dinner. I was at the far end of the table. As always, Mom stood up with her wine glass. "I want to make a toast to my beautiful daughter Lily, who's getting married in 2 months." Everyone cheered. Lily blushed. Ryan kissed her. Then Mom looked at me. "And Emma, your sister's wedding was so beautiful last year. I'm so glad you finally had yours." The room went silent. I stared at her. "What?" She blinked. "Your wedding, dear. It was lovely. You weren't there." Her face shifted. Confusion, then defensiveness. "Of course we were there. We got the invitation and everything." "No." My voice was calm. "To come. You didn't come. You chose Lily's engagement party instead." Dad jumped in. "Emma, that's not true. We were definitely at your wedding." I looked around the table. Everyone was staring. Uncomfortable. Confused. "I sent you certified invitations. You signed for them. You didn't respond. You didn't show up." Mom's face flushed. "Emma, please. Don't do this. Not on Thanksgiving." "Do what?" "Tell the truth." Lily touched my arm. "Emma, maybe there was a mix-up." Pulled away. There was no mix-up. I stood up. My chair scraped against the floor. "I'll be right back." I walked out. Down the hall. Into the guest room. My hands were shaking but my mind was clear. Pulled out my phone. Opened my email. Found the delivery confirmations from 18 months ago. There they were. Both signatures. Both dates. I took screenshots. Then I went back. The room was buzzing again. People were trying to move past the awkwardness. I stood at the head of the table. "Mom, I need to show you something." They looked up. Held up my phone. March 14th, 10:42 a.m. "You signed for your invitation, Mom." Swipe. March 15th, 2:17 p.m. "You signed for yours, Dad." The room went silent again. Mom's face went pale. I don't remember." "You don't remember signing for a certified letter about your daughter's wedding?" Dad cleared his throat. "Emma, even if we got the invitations, we explained why we couldn't come." "No, you didn't explain. You ignored me. You chose Lily's engagement party over my wedding. You didn't even bother to tell me you weren't coming." Tears started rolling down Mom's face. "Emma, please. You're making a scene." "I'm making a scene." My voice was rising now. "I've been silent for 32 years. I've paid your mortgage. I've paid for Lily's college. I've given you everything. And when I needed you for one day, one single day, you couldn't show up." My aunt spoke up. "Emma, I'm sure they had a good reason." "The reason," I said, pulling up another photo, "is that Lily's engagement party was more important." I showed them Lily's Instagram post from that weekend. The photos of my parents toasting, celebrating, smiling. "While I was getting married," I said quietly, "you were here, celebrating someone else." Nobody spoke. I looked at Lily. She was crying now. "I don't blame you," I told her. "You didn't know. But they did." I looked at my parents. "I'm done. I'm done being your backup plan. I'm done being invisible." I grabbed my coat. Daniel followed me. We left. Nobody called after us. Nobody followed. We drove home in silence. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling thinking about everything. All the money I'd given. All the sacrifices I'd made. All the times I'd put them first. And what did I get in return? Nothing. The next morning I made a decision. Called a lawyer. I need to document some financial transactions, I said. Over the next 2 weeks I pulled every bank statement, every transfer record, every receipt. I made a spreadsheet. I calculated everything I'd given my family over the past 14 years. $127,420. $127,420. I didn't want the money back. That wasn't the point. I just wanted them to see it. I wanted them to understand what I'd given up. The lawyer helped me draft a formal letter. It wasn't a demand. It was a statement. Record. I sent copies to my parents and Lily. Certified mail. Again. 3 days later my phone started ringing. I didn't answer. Texts poured in. How could you do this? You're destroying this family. We raised you better than this. I didn't respond. Then I sent one final email. To every family member who'd been at Thanksgiving. The subject line. The truth about my wedding. The body of the email was simple. The delivery receipts. The signatures. The dates. And one sentence. They chose not to come. Within hours my phone was flooded again. But this time the messages were different. I'm so sorry, Emma. I had no idea. That's unforgivable. My aunt called. She was crying. Emma, I'm so ashamed. I believed them. I should have asked you. My cousin called. My uncle called. Daniel's family called. Everyone was calling. Except my parents. 2 weeks later a letter arrived. Handwritten. From my mother. 6 pages long. She apologized. She cried on paper. She explained how stressful everything had been. How overwhelmed she'd felt. How she didn't mean to hurt me. But nowhere in those 6 pages did she take responsibility. It was all excuses. I threw the letter away. Lily called next. She was sobbing. Emma, please. Can we talk? I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. You knew the party was the same weekend as my wedding. But I didn't know they weren't going to your wedding. I thought they'd go to both. They didn't. I know. And I'm so sorry. Please. Let me fix this. You can't fix this, Lily. Then what do you want me to do? Nothing. I want you to do nothing. Just like everyone else. Hung up. Christmas came. I didn't go home. I spent it with Daniel's family. They were kind. They were present. They saw me. New Year's came. My parents sent gifts. I sent them back. Lily sent a card. I left it unopened. In January my father called. His voice was quiet. Broken. Emma. I know I can't fix this. But I need you to know. Sorry. Failed you. I see that now. I didn't respond. Just listened. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I hope. Someday. You'll let me try. Hung up. Not out of anger. Out of exhaustion. For 32 years I'd been the one trying. The one fixing. The one sacrificing. And I was tired. So I stopped. I stopped answering calls. I stopped reading messages. I stopped carrying their weight. And for the first time in my life I felt light. Months passed. Then a year. Lily got married. I wasn't invited. Or maybe I was, and the invitation got lost. I didn't care anymore. I started my own marketing consulting business. Grew fast. Clients loved my work. I traveled. I invested. I built something that was mine. Daniel and I bought a house. Real house. With a yard and a garden and space for the family we wanted to build. A family that wouldn't treat anyone as invisible. 2 years passed. Then one day I got a call from my aunt. Emma, it's your mother. She's in the hospital. She had a stroke. My heart stopped. Is she okay? She's stable. But Emma. She's asking for you. I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot for 20 minutes before going inside. When I walked into her room, she looked so small. So fragile. She saw me and started crying. Emma. You came. I sat in the chair next to her bed. I'm here. I'm so sorry, she whispered. For everything. I was a terrible mother. I see that now. I didn't say anything. I don't deserve your forgiveness. But I need you to know. Love you. I always loved you. I didn't show it the way I should have. I looked at her. This woman who gave birth to me. Who raised me. Who failed me. And I realized something. I didn't need her apology. I didn't need her to fix anything. I'd already fixed myself. I forgive you, I said quietly. Not for you. For me. She reached for my hand. I let her take it. But I didn't stay long. Because forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And it doesn't mean going back. I left the hospital. Drove home. Sat with Daniel on our couch. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Free," I said. And I meant it. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for their family to see them. To value them. To love them the way they deserve. But I stopped waiting. I built a life where I didn't need to be invisible. And that was the greatest revenge of all. If this story touched you somewhere, subscribe. The next story might feel as familiar as your own family.